Hey y'all, welcome back to Fantasy Online 2. We're back in this is Murky Woods at the moment. And I'm actually making a new video to show off their newest mechanic, which is Rebirth. As you can see in the corner here, I've got a little skull next to my name, and I'm level 51 before I was level 60. So I'll show off exactly what that means. They added this a little bit after, actually pretty quick after I made the last video of the tour of the area, and it came in real quick after that. I was actually very surprised and excited that it came back so fast, just because it gave me a lot more stuff to do. At the time, I was level 60. I was basically just grinding around for materials and just trying to just trying to make a lot of items. Mostly stuff for the collector, like the tiered armors and weapons and stuff. So this is Frozen North. I won't go around too much, show it off, but this is a new area. So we got a lot of NPCs with quests, a lot of new enemies, new items to grab, and there's stuff to do. There's somebody mining some ice, these little ice shards. Forward octopus. I've seen him around a lot. But there's a lot of stuff to do here, a lot of enemies to fight, some more ice blobs, frozen north area. So we got a lot of ice enemies. And one of the big additions for this area is going to be Evil McFreeze guy. Um, Very high tier boss. He is level 100 with 8 million health. I'm sure some people have taken him out as groups and stuff, but there is a challenge right now on the Discord for anybody that wants to record a video of them killing him by themselves, solo. No, no team or anything, which will be difficult. I've done a little bit of the numbers, like done the math a little bit. Depending with a decent build, I was kind of generous with the numbers, honestly, and it still came out to about 6 hours to kill the guy with 8 million health. Um, and that's assuming your speed of attack is perfect, and it probably won't be if you're kiting him, walking around, so he doesn't hit you because there's about 800 damage, at least to me right now. Obviously, I'm level 51 and I don't have the best armor, so the damage he does is not exactly indicative of what he'll do once you're level 60 or 65, but he is doing quite a bit of damage. So Frozen North, new area. Now people mining ice, not really sure what for yet because it doesn't have anything for yet. Obviously, I'm sure it's going to be the new tier. You got new spells as well. Obviously, you got your teleport, and then you got a new intellect spell, Ice Shard. Don't know what it does, but they're actually going to be fixing that pretty soon. They just came out in the Discord. They said they'll add tooltips to what these things do. But then you got a strength stamina little spell, block of ice. I assume it's some kind of armor spell. I could be wrong. Yeah, that's the stuff 4. People have been using that a lot. The intellect. I got Rage 2, which is very nice for strength, and then you got Ruse 2, which is very good for agility. That's obviously your second version of the Rage and the Ruse spells. As you can see, Rage is the one that gives you a lot of attack power, plus 200 attack power for 30 seconds. Obviously, 30 seconds, not a very long time. So I didn't use this one very much because it's just kind of tedious to cast it over and over again when you're fighting things, especially if you're fighting things where you need this. It's probably going to be taking you around 30 seconds, if not more, to kill the enemy. So it's just kind of annoying to cast. For H2, however, 600 attack power for 5 minutes. So a good duration on it for the buff that it is. Obviously, as you can see, the highest Nerd Rage gives you only 300 attack power. So that's doubling that for Rage, which is a pretty good power buff for you if you're at that level. You got your banker here. A couple dudes asking for quests. A little shop selling your ice armor molds, and then your little teleport there. You got your boy to do your crafting, so your ice crafting into all this stuff. I kind of like this. I like how this actually takes other things to craft the reinforced plate. That's interesting to me. I like it. It's kind of the same with the shells in the other areas. Before you had to buy these molds from this one guy, and then you had to combine them with this to get the mold or to get the iron mold for this, and then you had to combine it with another thing to get the Starforged mold. So I kind of like that, but they kind of went away from that. They kind of just make the molds pretty easily, at least in a lot of the newer areas. Collector here, and there's a faction shop showing off some of the other stuff here. That's your new area. Essentially, there's a lot of going on, obviously, in the area, but it's mostly just quests and such. So here's your rebirth. So we'll go over that now. We got Frozen Death sitting here. I can't talk to him right now, obviously, because I'm already rebirth. But there's this little shine here or sign that'll show off what it says. You've got your Rebirth is your next major leveling mechanic after level 60. Start the game all over, but this time with additional rewards to make you even stronger. So essentially, you'll take off all your armor and all your items. It's one of the requirements, obviously, so you don't have a bunch of overpowered stuff on when you level up. And then you talk to Death, and it'll ask if you want to rebirth, and you'll say yes. And then it'll count down and start rebirthing you. And so what that'll do is it'll take your level from the max cap, which right now the base level cap is 60. So it'll take you from 60 down to 1. And then obviously all your stats will, essentially you're restarting at level 1. And it'll teleport you back to Noob Island, or rather the very start of Noob Island, which is all the way down at the bottom of the peninsula where you spawned the first time. And of course it'll just spawn you there again, and you'll start the quests over. So you talk to your guy, fisherman over here, Gordon. You'll kill your scare crabs, your soft shell crabs. You'll just start over. You'll do all the quests again, and you'll work your way back up through the game, essentially. The benefits of Rebirth at this time, as far as I know at least, is of course the level cap will increase from 60 to 65. So it'll give you 5 more levels to work with. And then also these points that you get for leveling up, usually get like 2 points per level up, I believe. I was told that every 4 levels, if you're Rebirth, will give you an extra point. So essentially that's, roughly 15 extra points throughout level 60, which is great. And then of course there's another 5 levels of points after 60 to go to 65, which is another buff, essentially. It's just a higher level cap, which is great. Gives you more power, more strength. Not the stat strength, but you understand. So that's where we're sitting right now. That was some of the main stuff that was added, at least the Frozen North and then the Rebirth. They've also added in, what's nice is these, I'm sorry, that's go to the wrong place. The amethysts. So they've added an amethyst for stamina. This is now the first time we've got a separate gem for stamina. Before it was shared between strength and stamina. Both had onyx, and that was just what they had it as. Now they added amethyst in for stamina, so you can kind of separated, and you can mine your own thing. You'll get it from iron and silver veins, I believe. I haven't been mining a lot of iron and silver, but I've heard from people that that's where they're getting a lot of iron and silver. And that's your main additions to the game at the moment, or at least in this last update since I did the last video. So that's about it. I just got finished up with I just got finished up with the undergrounds. So I am now at Murky Woods. I'm just trying to level back up to 60 at the moment so I can get all my armor back on. 52, I get 1 more level and I'll be able to wear most of my stuff that I had on before. Right now I'm just killing the elves. They're a little bit weaker than the badgers. This area, Murky Woods, is kind of like a warring faction area between the elves and the badgers. And from what I can see, obviously the badgers are a bit stronger. If you go to the elves and you ask them for the quest, it'll tell you to kill the archers of the badgers. They got about 14,000 health per archer, so it takes a little bit to kill one. But if you go talk to the badgers, they want you to kill these dark elves, only 4k health. And then you got to kill these punks, only 5k. It's a little easier to kill, a little easier to start on. They'll help you level up a little bit before you start killing the badgers. And then even now, I got to kill these archers, and they still only have 7,000 health. So it's a little easier to do. And if you need to get to Frozen North the first time, obviously with a teleport, like I had, you'll just go straight up north from Murky Woods. You go past everything. There's a sign here, up north to Frozen North. And see the snow start to build up on the sides. This is how you get to Frozen North. Obviously, I went the wrong way because there's no way to get up there from here. But if you go to the right, there'll be an entrance there, and you can go up to Frozen North and start doing stuff. So that's where I'm sitting at right now. This is where the game is. I'll probably make more videos along with more updates as they come out, just to show off the new stuff and what we're doing. I could make some kind of like, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know, like build, showing off builds and stuff if I get to that point. Right now, I could, I guess, show off my build. Like I said before, I've done strength and intellect, so I've got my intellect items on at the moment. The reason I like this build is because strength is pretty good for damage. It's decent, especially now with the new buffs. It's a lot better, I would say, for damage than it was before, as far as damage per second is concerned. But I like to dip into intellect myself, just mainly for that's the stuff. You got your healing while you're fighting, and then you also got self-motivated, so I can cast spells and heal myself. And the main one I use for that is your Twilightning Bolt. I like this a lot. It's similar, obviously, to your Lick Wounds So at that point, obviously here, this costs, well, it's not that very high on intellect, but it does take 2 seconds. It takes 120 energy, and you're only healing for 66 to 133, which is, you know, roughly, I don't know, 90-ish, 90 somewhere in there healing on average. So you're spending 120 energy to get 90 healing. So, you know, the ratio there is about 3 to 4 healing per mana. So it's not 1 to 1. I like how Twilighting Bolt is 50 energy for 50 health. Obviously, the healing is going to be a little slower because it's casting it about the same amount of cast time, 2 seconds for the other one, 1.8 for this one. But it's better healing for mana as far as that purposes go. The rank 3 is kind of on that same boat as rank 4 of the Lick Wounds, where it's 200 energy for 150 health. The nice thing though about Twilighting Bolt is that it actually does damage as well. So it's going to be doing 150 damage to your target as well as healing you for 150. So that's what I like about these. Obviously they're an intellect mainly. Obviously you're only going to be using them if you have intellect, so that's why I like to dip into intellect. So that's where I'm sitting at right now with my build. It's working out really well for me. I've got a decent amount of armor, but I don't take too much damage. And then of the damage that I do take, I can usually sustain myself just fine by just casting Twilighting Bolt, and of course it'll also damage the enemies that I'm fighting. So that's what I'm kind of running with my build right now. Probably take off my little 25 balloon here pretty soon because the new year is over, and I don't really need to have it on anymore. I like it though. Nice little visual. Stand me out from the crowd, of course. So that's about all I've got for this video, I think. Um, I'll make more as the updates come out, I think. And feel free to join the Discord, join the game. It's a great community. We love new players. We'll probably have a lot of people for the most part for the next little while. We'll probably have a lot of people around here buffing people. You know, regardless of whether they're rebirthing or not. Right now, it's kind of like you go to Mirabelle Cove, you can get buffs if you want to get some help with your rebirth, just so that you know, because obviously you're going to be pretty low level if you don't have your own accounts to buff you at the moment. You can kind of do that, but obviously people are going to be buffing anyone who's low level if they ask for it, regardless of whether they're rebirthed or not. So if you want to join now and get some work done in the game, it's probably going to be easier right now than any other time. So go ahead and join up if you want and try out this game. It's pretty fun. And with that, I think I'm finished up. So I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.